Hello my friends and welcome. We have extraordinary news for today. The dam in Novakhovka was destroyed. I think it was destroyed by the Russian army. Why, you will understand after watching this video, and for now let's speak about the circumstances. So for now, all of those islands in the Dnieper river after the dam, all of those islands will be just flooded. They are partially flooded already and the water will go around like this. Oleshki, Novopristan already under the water. Plus the road over here that was the supply line for the Russian Federation. Also the water will go to the north a little, touching Kherson. One of the districts is already under the water, and a little bit over here. Well, it's the biggest natural disaster in Ukraine since Chernobyl. Well, it's better to say not the natural but the technological disaster, because the dam itself was created by humans, and yes, nature did its job. The water just goes straight away and the peak moment of the flooding will be tomorrow morning. Russia built their first defense line near to Holopristan, Oleshki, and over here. Ukraine also put their forces on the islands, and we have our forces in Kherson area. Now Ukrainian positions and Russian positions are getting flooded. Some of the Russian soldiers have to search for the high ground to be secure, so they're climbing on the trees, on the roofs of the buildings, but that will not save them, because as I said to you, water mostly goes to the southern area. The north part is on the higher ground, so the flooding will still be there, but not as significant as on the south. Plus, you can see this area is still controlled by the Russian forces, but because of the water, this part will turn into the island. So the Russian group over there will be out of the supplies. This area is very important because here we have the way for the ships into the Mykolaiv port. And I guess that Russians have to leave that area, otherwise they will be locked on the island. Later on I'll show you the satellite images, the dam itself, but let's speak now about the circumstances. Let's continue. So here we have the Kakhovsky water reservoir. It's quite big and goes from Zaporizhzhia city to Kakhovka. And the dam in Kakhovka was keeping all of that water in this place. This water mainly was used for agriculture and also for Crimea. There is the channel that leads to Crimea. Plus, there are some natural channels from this water storage, keeping the soil okay for agriculture on the south part of Ukraine. So then this water goes out. I think it will happen in 3 days. There will be just a normal Dnieper river. This part will be very thin and the part on the south will be very wide, sometimes up to 5 kilometers wide. All of the small channels from the Kakhovka water reservoir will be out of use. So it means that agriculture will be terrible for this year. We expect a decline by 70% because of the lack of water. And some parts of the southern Ukraine may turn into deserts, including the north part of Crimea. But what worries me a lot is the Energodar nuclear power plant. As you can see here, there's the reservoir for cooling the nuclear power plant itself. The International Atomic Agency analyzed the situation and they say that it could be critical for the normal operation of the nuclear power plant. It doesn't necessarily mean that there will be new Chernobyl, the big disaster, because this is the biggest nuclear power plant in the Eastern Europe. The problem here is that this power plant is controlled by the Russian soldiers, and that is, I think, the bigger risk compared to the cooling of some of the systems of the station. It may turn to the idle mode, it will not produce electricity, but still I think the water will be okay to cool down the reactors. At least the engineers who understand this stuff more than me say that it could be critical, but the chance is very low for now. This full video you may find on my Telegram channel. I was uploading lots of the information about the case all day long, and just during the evening time, my friends, I have the time to record video on YouTube. So if you want to be updated, if you want to stay in touch, please subscribe for my Telegram channel. You may find the link in description just below. So this is the Novakhovka Dam. It's totally ruined and water just goes into down the river, let's say. So this part is totally destroyed. This is not just the dam, it's the hydroelectrical power station, and you can see this was the main part, the main building where usually generators and turbines are located. And as you can see over here, the smoke is coming from this room. It means that there was internal explosion. And now we are getting closer to say who is responsible for this attack and I would say disaster. Just remember this area, this picture. Alright, now probably you can see the satellite image. This is the old one dated 2 days ago on 4th of June. As you probably know, Russia performed the goodwill gesture last year and they used the Novakhovka Dam for their evacuation. So there is the road that goes across the dam and they went out. But they blown up the part of the road just to ensure that the Ukrainian army will not go to pursue them. Ukraine also tried to cut out this supply line for the Russian army. Then the Russian army was on the northern part of Kherson area. So this is the north part, the north direction over here on this map. So Ukraine used the very precise long-range rocket artillery system as HIMARS and we targeted this place again, the road. So no one was crazy enough to bomb the dam itself, but today it exploded in this area. And we have just seen the video, so this part is totally demolished as well as the rooms of the hydroelectric power station. But Ukraine was physically unable to move to that area because this road is totally kaput over here. Russia blown up it, then they retreated. So Russians kept control over all of that area, and last autumn some of the Russian soldiers put in the social media information that there were mines put inside the dam. The Ukrainian intelligence confirmed that information, and even President Zelensky in one of his addresses to the people of Ukraine said that Russians mined this dam. He asked the international organizations as United Nations to do something with that. But as you know, the United Nations is just useless organization. So as for me, this is the biggest factor saying that Russia is responsible for this explosion, because the explosion clearly was from inside. Again, I posted it firstly on Telegram this morning stating that look guys, Ukraine is unable to move across this dam, so Russia took control over it, and they did it. And this is filmed from the Russian side during the daytime. As you can see, explosions continue near to the dam because Russia mined their place with lots of the mines. One more reason why Russia is responsible for it, because just before the dam was blown up, the level of the water was physically, purposely risen up to 70 meters. So they closed all of the water gates on the dam, creating lots of the pressure on the structure. The dam was already damaged, then they retreated from the other shore because they blown up the part of it. And they blown up it again, totally destroying it. So this is the Crimean channel. It goes from that water reservoir straight to Crimea, and because of that the soil on the north part of Crimea is more or less suitable for agriculture. Right now Russia controls all of that territory, and for them it was possible to start the water supply for Crimea, but now it's not possible. And this is one of the predictions of the flooding. Actually, this map was published long time ago. Then last year many people told about the possible scenario like that, and unfortunately it happened in real life. Well, mostly the southern part will be flooded. Some of the Russian resources shared this video saying that it was the attack by Ukraine, but actually it is the bird flying over there, not the drone. And this is just one more mine explosion. As you can see, the dam was destroyed already. Some of the satellite images, it was yesterday, and unfortunately it is today. As you can see, this village is gone. And again, one more place, the long village near to the Dnieper river. And unfortunately it is gone, as well as many of the islands on the Dnieper. There is also the big problem with the safety of animals. They will be flooded, most of them will die unfortunately, and local zoo was reported to be covered by water totally, and I guess all of the animals just gone. There is some information from the United States intelligence about the case. They say that they have the evidence that Russia is responsible for this disaster. So what is the motive for Russia? Because actually they flood their own forces in the first line of defense. They want to get rid of the future Ukrainian counterattack. I was almost sure that Ukraine is ready to move from Nova Kakhovka or from Kherson, because lots of the boats were placed in that area, and also there were the special drills for our forces to cross the river. And now with all of that area flooded, it's impossible for Ukrainian army to counterattack in that place. And as it was expected, the counterattack should have happened very soon, but now I have great doubts about the plan. Ukraine will counterattack in any case, we don't have the other choice, and our generals today officially stated that the plans for the counterattack exist and it will happen. I think just we need some time to correct the plans. So Russia did a very stupid act, and world will understand that they're just nuts. Because again they have the nuclear power plant as the hostage. Right, now let's review the front lines, because we have the positive news for Ukrainian army. I'll speak about the dam in my next video. Let's zoom in firstly to the Bakhmut, because Ukrainian army got the success over here. Berhivka is not yet under Ukrainian control, even though Russian forces confirmed that part of Berhivka went to Ukrainian army, but still there is the critical elevation. Let's move to the topographic chart. So Ukrainian forces are still unable to get those hills under the control. There is the other one, but this one is really the huge one, 90 meters high, and from that hill you can see everything in that area, including the Bakhmut city itself. But we start to move further to Berhivka. It's also great. Over here probably we can cut Russians in this area and later on take the hill. Let's check out the timeline. So it was yesterday and it is today, more ground taken. On the south, the Ukrainian army moves towards Andriivka, so it was yesterday and it is today, just few meters long. We got the first line under control, and there is the channel, the water channel goes across, that creates the obstacle for the forces, and we are still unable to move across it. Traditionally, Russia reported the Ukrainian offensive near to Orikhiv, near to Polohi, and near to Gulaipole. However, we don't have yet the map updates and we don't have the visual confirmation of the fighting. But we have the video confirmation from the Bakhmut area near to Yahidne. Ukraine was able to target the Russian tank over there. The full video I will post on my Telegram channel. Again, my friends, subscribe for me over there. You may find the link in the video description. So the Russian tank was totally kaput over there, and it means that we are going much further than it is shown on the map. Russia reported that they've shot down the Ukrainian drone in Crimea. As you can see, definitely it is the part of the drone, but it's not the Ukrainian drone. So here's one more photo. You can see those hatches, you can see the aileron on the wing, and this belongs to the Iranian-made drone. The same hatches were spotted over here, and the same aileron, no handhold, do not grip or something, the same wing as on the Iranian stuff. It means that Russia shut down their own drone. The Russian attack helicopter K-52 targeted several agricultural tracks on the southern part of Ukraine. Again, the full video you may spot on my Telegram channel. So they were flying on the long distance. They have a very bad quality camera. And there is also the intercom communication recorded, and two pilots were speaking between each other. What is that? What is this? Let's fire. From some perspective it looks like the tank, but definitely it's not. It's the John Deere agriculture machine that unfortunately was targeted. John Deere is very expensive. Right after it, Russia reported that they've targeted 8 Leopard-2 tanks. Well, I guess this is how the Leopard-2 looks for the Russian soldiers. Alright, no news without this face. Prigozhin again is very active in the social media. He already said about this attack on the agriculture machine. The idea of the message is that the Russian army is very stupid, that they cannot identify the tank. Also today he said that Russia is probably getting ready to use nukes, but not against Ukraine, but against Russia itself. His idea is that the Russian command is very weak to use the nukes against the other country, but they need to show that they have the mighty power and they are crazy nuts. That's exactly what he said. He said that the Russian military command wants to show that we are sick nuts. That is why he said Russia is leaving the Belgrade area to drop the nuke over there. Again, it's his opinion, there are no facts behind. But I wouldn't be very surprised if that happens. My friends, now please press the like to this video, and also if you want to support my job, there are some links available in the video description just below. You may support me on PayPal, on Patreon, or on the sponsorship just on this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your awesome help and awesome support. I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.